50 now.
125.
125.
Welcome back to the Home Game Hero. We're mid-session, table's buzzing, and I get into a hand that turns the whole table silent. He tanks for almost a minute and looks straight at me and says,
Only one hand, you can that with.
5 seconds later, he folds pocket kings face up, pre-flop. Yeah, that really happened. This is the Home Game Hero, where we bluff first and explain later. Hit that subscribe, smash the like, and stay tuned, because this session's about to get ridiculous. Let's rewind to the start of the night. We buy in for 300 in this 1-2 game, and I'm under the gun. Not exactly where dreams are made, but I opened a 10 anyway. Rob in middle position decides that my happiness must be punished and makes it 25. Small blind cold calls, so I toss in 15 more. 3 ways with 77 in the middle. The flop comes 8 of spades, 2 of spades, 7 of diamonds. Bang, we hit middle set. I lead for 25, just hoping someone's got a little something. That won't be the price for long. Rob wants trouble and raises to 100. The speed alone screams aces, like the kind of confidence only a man who's never been set in mind before can have. Blind folds and I jam for 273. There's only 2 combos of pocket 8s that we're behind. Rob snap calls like it's a reflex, and sure enough, he flips over pocket aces. We decide to run it twice. First board, deuce of clubs, 9 of hearts. We fill up faster than a Vegas buffet. Second board, 10 of spades, queen of hearts, clean as a whistle. 2 boards, 2 wins, and Rob's learning the vlogs called the Home Game Hero for a reason. I'm on the button with Jack 10 of diamonds, and we've got a full-blown family reunion. 5 limpers to me. I decide to bump it up to $10, and somehow only one person folds. I should have went larger with this many limpers, so yeah, 7 ways to the flop, 72 in the middle. My kind of chaos. The flop comes 6 of hearts, jack of clubs, 9 of spades. We finally connect. Top pair, decent kicker, and about 6 other people who probably think they connected too. It checks around to the low jack, who bets 15, because nothing says confidence like betting 1/5 pot into 6 people. I make the call, and the low jack calls behind, and we're 3 ways with 117 in the middle, and everyone's range is wider than the Mississippi. Turns the 4 of clubs. Both players check, which means they either hate their hand or they're slow playing the nuts because they saw Rampage do it once. I toss out 20. Cheap, efficient, I still want to see a river kind of bet. The low jack gets the memo and folds. The high jack hangs on. The pot's 157 and we're heads up. River's the ace of diamonds, one of those cards that makes your brain whisper, that's not good. Half the limp call range just got there, and I'm not about to donate extra to ace 3 offsuit. He checks, I happily check back. I show jack 10, he shows jack 7, and we drag the pot. Nothing fancy, just a little kicker magic and a whole lot of people refusing to fold pre-flop.
Cover jackhammer side.
This hand we're playing a double board PLO bomb pot, the most efficient way to test your bankroll and your blood pressure at the same time. I'm in the big blind with ace-9, 8-4, single suited. There's already $77 in the middle before we even see a flop, so yeah, things are about to get loud. Top board's the jack of diamonds, 6 of spades, 4 of diamonds. We flopped a nut flush draw right out the gate. The bottom board, 4 of spades, ace of clubs, 8 of diamonds, top 2 pair, and on this board that's basically as nutted as it gets. Nobody's flopping straights here. The texture's bone dry, disconnected, awkward, and uncoordinated. Sets are almost non-existent, and the only hands that can even pretend to be ahead of us are pocket aces and pocket 8s, both single combo long shots. 4-4 isn't even possible. We've already got a 4 up top. So when it checks to me, I decide to make it expensive. I pot it to $77, because when you've got this kind of equity, you should make your opponents pay. Everyone folds except the button and the small blind. So we're 3-handed to the turn with 308 in the middle. Top board is the deuce of clubs. Doesn't change much, we're still drawing to the nuts. And on the bottom board, the 9 of clubs. That gives us 4 pair, which sounds silly in PLO, but the key here is we still block every real monster. Small blind checks again. Time to crank the pressure. I pot it for 310. The button calls off his last 225, and the small blind jams, another 75 on top. It's only 75 more for me to call, and I'm not folding after throwing this many haymakers. The pot's ballooned to over $1,283, and we're off to the river. The small blind shows up with top set on the top and a club draw on the bottom. I've got the nut diamond draw up top and top on the bottom. This thing's basically a coin flip. The river comes the ace of spades up top and the king of spades on the bottom. And somehow, after all that sweat and all that equity flying around, we chop it up. But it's not a baby chop. We split a massive one. I still drag in a fat stack.
You lose one of your diamonds.
We pick up ace of hearts, 10 of diamonds in early position. It limps around to the cutoff, who raises to 25. It folds back to me and I make the call. Then the low jack, who limped in pre-flop, puts in a minimal re-raise to 50. That sizing from a limp is rarely a premium. It's usually mid pairs like 8s through jacks, maybe some ace queen, king queen, or suited ace jack type of hands that want to isolate but don't want to build a huge pot out of position. The cutoff calls, I call behind, and we go three-handed to a $151 pot. Flop comes 7 of hearts, 9 of clubs, 3 of spades. This is a board that misses almost every pre-flop raising range. The high card hands like ace king, ace queen, and king queen have completely whiffed. From my perspective, this board heavily favors the flatters range, but since no one's bet, it's clear everyone's uncomfortable. Both opponents are likely holding marginal holdings. Turn is a 3 of hearts. The board pairs, which dramatically reduces the number of strong hands available. So when it checks through again, that's a massive tell. Both players are capped. Their checking ranges are made up of ace highs, weak pocket pairs, and missed broadways. My ace 10 now beats a huge portion of both of those ranges. I'm ahead of all king highs, queen highs, and the river is a 7 of spades. My final hand is 7s and 3s with an ace kicker. From a range perspective, that kicker is extremely important. The cutoff now leads $15 into 152, a classic blocker bet. The cutoff calls, which tells me he's also in a bluff catching mode. If he had anything stronger, this is always a raise spot. I'm getting better than 12 to 1, and given how capped both ranges are, this is an easy call. Low jack shows king queen, total air. I table ace 10, likely the best hand a very high percentage of the time. But the cutoff starts his slow roll and says, yeah, I've got a pocket pair. And the second I hear that, my heart just sinks. You can feel it, that slow, painful energy before the reveal. Finally, he shows us the bad news and turns it over. But it's not bad news at all. It's pocket deuces. My kicker plays. We scooped a $195 pot. No one connects with the low disconnected textures. Capped ranges, check twice, and sometimes ace high really is the best hand. I'm in the hijack with pocket jacks. Strong enough to 3-bet for value, weak enough to ruin your night. Under the gun opens to 11, pretty standard early position range. I'd 3-bet to $25 with jacks, looking to isolate. But the button calls, which usually means a medium pocket pair or some suited Broadway nonsense. Big blind and under the gun both come along, so we're 4 ways with 101 in the middle. Not exactly the isolation we were going for. Flop comes 7 of clubs, deuce of clubs, 3 of hearts. Pretty dry, but those clubs could get messy fast. It checks to me, and this is a board where we're miles ahead of most of their ranges. They've got pocket 8s, 9s, some ace-x hands, and maybe even some low pairs that are just praying to see a cheap turn. So I go 55 into 101. Button wants no part of it. Big blind makes the call, and under the gun gets out the way, so we're heads up with 211 in the pot. The turn is the 6 of diamonds. No flush yet, and that card doesn't really change much. When he checks, we can still get called by worse 8s, 9s, and maybe some stubborn 7s, so I size down a bit and go 80 into 211. It gives me the deep breath, eye roll, do I really want to torch another $80 look, and finally side folds. Even asked the dealer for the river just to see if he would have gotten lucky. We'll take it. 2 streets of value and a reminder that aggression still wins pots.
Fucking 4 ways. Yeah. Didn't even have to bet him. Just fall down.
I'm in the low jack and look down at the ladies. Under the gun +1 opens to 15. Middle position flat calls. That caller's got a lot of medium pairs, suited connectors, maybe some weaker Broadway hands. I 3-bet to 45, targeting exactly those ranges. If they've got pocket 9s, 10s, or something like ace-jack, they're in a tough spot. Now the button cold calls, which immediately sets off alarm bells. That range is almost always weighted towards big Broadway combos, maybe pocket jacks or 10s. Sometimes ace-king that doesn't want a 4-bet. Both blinds fold, under the gun +1 calls, and middle position gets out of the way. So we're going 3 ways to a flop with 153 in the middle. The flop comes jack of diamonds, 10 of spades, jack of spades. It checks to me, and this board is a minefield. My queens are still ahead of most of under the gun's range. Think pocket 9s, 10s, maybe ace-king suited, but I'm crushed by jack X, and the button's cold call range has plenty of those. If I bet here, I'm folding out everything worse and only getting action from better, so I check back for pot control and deception. The button checks behind, which usually caps him. He's got a lot of medium pairs, ace-king, maybe a suited connector that picked up a backdoor draw. Turn is the 6 of diamonds, introducing a second flush draw. Under the gun checks again, and now I can start charging all those draws in smaller pairs. Hands like ace-10, pocket 9s, spade and diamond combos that picked up equity. I fire 80 into 153. The button folds quickly, likely one of those Broadway floats, and under the gun makes the call. We're heads up to the river with 313 in the middle. The river brings in the third jack, the jack of hearts, giving us queens full of jacks, essentially the nuts the way this hand's been played. He checks a third time. If I bet, I'm really only getting called by quads or maybe 10s full. Everything else, 9s, 10s, missed draws just fold. So I check it back and show down the ladies and take the $313 pot. Under the gun table is ace-5 of diamonds for the nut flush draw, and it looks like the button was floating with ace-king the whole time. We're back, and this is the hand from the cold open. I'm in the small blind with ace-5 of diamonds. Under the gun opens to 15. Under the gun +1 calls, and middle position comes along. It gets to the button. A tight aggressive player, smart and capable of making big folds, and he bumps it up to 50. That's a strong range. Aces, kings, maybe queens, but I block aces with my hand. And if I 4-bet here with ace-5 suited, which you should do a small percentage of the time to stay balanced, the only real hand I'm representing is aces, outside of a few light bluffs. So yeah, let's send one through. I 4-bet for 125. It folds back around to the button, and after a long tank, he says,
There's only one hand you could be doing that with.
There's 2 hands you do that with.
yeah, not gonna lie, that one felt good. You make someone fold kings pre-flop, you earn a little table credit. Let's see how long it lasts. Let me know in the comments, what are you doing with kings there? Calling, jamming, folding like he did? Hit that like button while you think about it.
Try to shoot on me through that. We'd have been all in.
You'd fold, just tuck your fucking tail and run is what you'd do.
In the pot first hit.
Probably was.
We're in the cutoff with king jack offsuit, the kind of hand you love to see in a straddled pot. The straddle's on, 5 limpers, nobody raises, $30 out there, and somehow it checks all the way through. Flop comes 9 of clubs, 7 of spades, king of clubs. Top pair, decent kicker, backdoor clubs. Can't ask for much more multi-way. The straddle leads for 15 into 30. Under the gun folds, I call, button folds, and both blinds come along. 4 ways for the turn, with 90 in the middle. Turns the 3 of spades. Now 2 flush draws are on the board. When it checks to me, with top pair, we're way ahead of most of their ranges. Weaker kings, 9s, 7s, and a ton of busted draws. So I fire 35. Both blinds fold, but the straddle makes the call. Heads up to the river with 160 in the middle. The river pairs the board with the 9 of hearts. Both flushes brick, but now trips are possible. The straddle leads for 65. Kind of a nonsense bet when you think about it. If he had a king, he'd check. If he had a 9, he'd probably bet bigger. The sizing screams misdraw or maybe some kind of block or bluff. I look at the pot. 225 out there. 65 to call. I'm getting better than 4 to 1, about 22%. If I'm right, even about 1 out of 5 times, it's a profitable call. So I toss in the chips and tell him,
Show me your 9.
we roll over king jack for top pair good kicker and drag in this $290 pot. Sometimes it's not about the reads, it's just about doing math and trusting it.
No, hold on. You're thinking, no, let her.
Get up from the fucking table when you ain't playing.
8-handed double board PLO bomb pot and it's $10 a pop. We peel king of spades, king of clubs, deuce of spades, 3 of diamonds, and the hijack. The top board is the 9 of spades, 9 of hearts, 6 of clubs. Bottom board, ace of spades, 6 of spades, queen of spades. And just like that, we draw the nut flush on the bottom board. Under the gun leads out for 35, and that's perfect. I don't want to raise here, I want the whole table coming along. In PLO bomb pots, when you only got the nuts on one board, you build value by keeping players in, not scaring them off. Sure, I've got the nut flush locked up on one board, but up top, there's still full houses, trips, and plenty of danger. So I just call. Button calls, small blind calls, and big blind calls. We're 5-handed to the turn with $252 in the middle. Top board brings the 4 of hearts. The bottom board stays clean with the 3 of clubs. Under the gun fires 100. Again, I just smooth call. I want one more clean card before applying pressure. No reason to blow the pot up when the other board's still alive. The button folds, small blind calls, and big blind gets out the way. 3 players left, and the pot is now 552. Onto the river. The top board is a jack of spades. The bottom board is a 7 of diamonds. We still have the nuts, and now we lock up half the pot. Under the gun checks, small blind checks. Time to flip the switch. I announce pot and slide out $550. Nobody's shown real aggression this hand, so this puts max pressure on anyone who's only got a middling hand up top. If they don't have the nuts, they're folding everything. Both players tank, crone, and eventually fold. We scooped the whole $552 bomb pot without ever showing a card. Maybe our kings were good up top, maybe not. Either way, that's how you turn a chop into a scoop.
I had the nut flush, and it.
That's what I thought. I just.
12 is the bet.
Under the gun opens to 12, and I'm next to act with ace-jack offsuit. Against that early position raise, this hand plays fine as a call. We really dominate some weaker aces, but don't really want to 3-bet into ace-queen or ace-king. The button comes along. The button call keeps a wide range. Suited connectors, 10-9 suited through 5-4 suit. Medium pairs like 7s through 10s. Suited aces, king-queen, ace-10, etc. Blinds fold, and we go 3 ways to a flop with 39 in the middle. The flop comes 9 of hearts, 6 of diamonds, ace of diamonds. Really solid for us. We've got top pair, decent kicker, and the backdoor nut flush draw. Jerry checks, so his range caps a bit. He often checks queens, jacks, maybe some ace-x. So I bet 15. That small sizing keeps in worse aces like ace-10 or ace-9 and charges all the diamond combos. The king-queen of diamonds, queen-jack of diamonds, maybe even the jack-10 of diamonds. Button makes the call and Jerry folds. So we're heads up with 69 in the middle. And now the range narrows to 1 pair hands and strong draws. Mostly weaker aces and some flush draws, and maybe the occasional slow-played set. Turn is the 4 of clubs, a total brick. I keep the pressure on for 30. I'm targeting the same hands, ace-10, ace-9, and all the diamond draws that still have decent equity. Button calls again. When the button calls again, their range tightens. They have ace-9, ace-10, ace-queen, and a lot of diamond draws. Occasionally some slow played sets still. River comes the king of spades, so I decided to check, trying to induce a bluff. We avoid value owning ourselves and invite a bluff from missed diamonds or 9x floats. He checks back, and I roll over ace-jack, and he mucks. We drag a clean $129 pot. This is one of those spots where range awareness keeps you out of trouble. Sometimes the best river play isn't another bet. It's letting your opponent hang themselves. We pick up rockets on the button, pocket aces. There's 1 limper, and I bump it up to 12. Both lines come along, and then the limper rips it, 51 total. Easy decision. I rejam to 151. Both lines get out the way, and we're heads up for a pot with just over 126. He looked at me and says 1 time. Flop comes 8 of spades, 5 of clubs, jack of clubs. Clean so far. Just gotta fade the wheel draw, the sets, and the back doors. The turn brings the 4 of hearts. Still good. River, 5 of spades. He rolls over 5-6 of diamonds for trips and scoops it. Yeah, welcome to poker. Sometimes you've got the rockets, sometimes they crash back down to earth.
Nice hand.
I'm in the hijack and pick up pocket kings. 1 limper in front and the low jack bumps it up to 12. I instantly make it 24. Small sizing, but I want to keep his whole range in. The cutoff and button fold. Small blind comes along, and then the low jack says, little does he know. The pot's sitting at $75, and we're 3 ways to the flop. And bang, we drill a full house. Queen of hearts, king of clubs, queen of spades. It checks all the way around, and I check it through. I want them to catch up. Maybe a straight draw or something to pay me off. The turn brings the 10 of clubs. That card could easily connect with king, queen, ace, queen, jack, 10. It still checks through again. The river's a total brick, 6 of hearts. And at this point, I've got to try and look weak. I toss out 25, trying to look like I'm buying it. And they both fold. What a waste of a monster. You flop the world, play it cute, and everyone decides they suddenly know how to fold. Sometimes the hardest hands to win big with are the ones you can't lose. I'm on the button with ace king of clubs. The straddle's on and early position makes it 10 to go. I decided 3-bet to 20. Small sizing, just trying to take control of the hand. The big blind calls, straddle calls, and the opener comes along too. 4 ways, 81 in the middle, not exactly where you want to be with ace king. Flop comes ace of clubs, 3 of spades, queen of hearts. It checks to me, and I fire 40, about half pot. and everybody folds. We dragged the pot, but honestly this one doesn't feel great. The mistake was pre-flop. Against a $10 open with the straddle out there, 20 is way too small. That sizing just invites full table call, and now ace-king's equity drops hard multi-way. And once the flop hits, I basically priced everyone out with that 2-bet. So I win, but I get 0 value. Last hand of the night, and I'm in the small blind and wake up with pocket queens. Under the gun limps, middle position makes it 15, and then here comes the callers. Low jack calls, hijack calls, cutoff calls. We've got a full-on family reunion. I look down at the ladies and decide this party needs a cover charge. I bump it up to 75, trying to isolate and scoop all that dead money in the middle. And one by one, they all fold. Not the big showdown we wanted, but we'll take it. We drag a clean $63 pot to end the session on a high note. There's a moment every poker player knows. When you push back from the felt, the night's winding down, and you can finally see that the grind's worth it. The table's quieter now. The chips don't sound the same when you're stacking profit. We don't bink some miracle river or get lucky in a monster pot. We just made the right moves when it mattered. Folded when we should, and fired when we had to. Trusted the read, trusted the line, and trusted the process. That's poker. That's life at the felt. We came in with a single buy-in, and we walk out with $2,000. Not because of luck, but because we kept showing up. Out here, you don't chase the cards, you chase the edge. Thanks for riding along for this one, and I'm the home game hero, and this is why we play.
No, let's do like 1950. That works.
Return that shit. That's all bought. You rebought 6 times.
You want to call a few?